Hello, hello, hello. Today is May the 9th, 2022. Exciting things are happening in the stock market, and that's why we're happy to bring back Norm Winsky to tell us just what's going on, what has gone on, and more importantly, the dates on which the next things will go on. Norm, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jeff. As always, I like to review what I forecasted the last time I was on. I was last on Monday, April 25. And let's see, I'm going to go through these quickly. You might want to take a screenshot so you can follow along better, or if you like, you can contact me and I'll send you the notes for free. All right, so we had over the weekend of the 22nd, AC is after the close. We had Helio, that's from the point of view of the sun, heliocentric. Mars entered Aquarius. Look at copper then. And then we had Jupiter to the U.S. chart. We take a snapshot of the planets when the country was founded on 4th of July, 1776. And anytime we have that, we look at U.S. stock, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. Again, we had Neptune to the U.S. chart. That's U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. Then we had a Mercury cycle over the night of the 28th for the grains, corn, soybeans, wheat. And then the morning of the 29th, we had Pluto turning retrograde. That has to do with the relative motion of the Earth to the other planets. That's cocoa, coffee, hogs, and T-bonds. And then we had over the weekend of the 29th, we had a solar eclipse in Taurus the Bull. And anytime we have a solar eclipse is a new moon, type of new moon, special type of new moon. And in Taurus, we have, anytime we have a new moon, full moon, we round up the usual suspects, financials, grains, precious metals. And because it's in Taurus, we're running a special on cattle and cotton. So here we go. Here's the first chart, corn. We had the Mercury cycle there. That's your grains. There's corn made a little top there. And then it made a bottom on the solar eclipse. There. Now, if we're going sideways, we do nothing. I mark that with a yellow box. If it's good and we had a chance to make money, we mark that with a green arrow. And let's see if we have the next kind. No, we haven't had that one yet. If we have a miss, it's a red arrow. We were going sideways on wheat there, and so we put a yellow box. And then we made a low of the month on the solar eclipse for wheat. Here's cattle. As the solar eclipse was in Taurus the Bull, and it's right on the low there on the opening of Monday, May 2, right after the solar eclipse. Here's cotton, had a little pullback low there on the solar eclipse, a chance to buy and make some money. Notice we're always looking for reversal. It doesn't work 100% of the time. Usually average about 75% of the time over 75% of the time over a longer period of time. Here's cocoa. Cocoa was not friendly and just kept on going higher. And we like to sell strength, buy weakness. Hogs were going sideways, so we did nothing. And then copper, we were near the low there. And so we had a chance to make like a 1 day pop on the copper. Not copper. I'm sorry. Take that back. I apologize. That's coffee. I forgot to put a label on that. And so this is coffee. Copper is next. Copper just kept going down. Okay, and this was back here on the coffee. That was on the Pluto retrograde on the morning of the 29th. Silver, we were going down, 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 and made a low right on the solar eclipse. Gold popped up and made a high right near the eclipse. And here's your S&P. We don't like patterns where we had a high the day before our time window, and then it drops down like that, and then you're buying on the bottom of that bar there the next morning. That's not a good pattern. So that we took a pass on that. When in doubt, stay out. Right. So here we go. We got a low here on that. That was our U.S. point. Then we had a couple of points here the night of the 28th and the morning of the 29th. So we're a little top there. And then we had an excellent bottom here right on the Monday, this May 2, right after the solar eclipse. That was pretty much the low of the last couple of weeks. That was last week's low, and it held for a whole week. And then we got today, which we're a lot lower. Anyway, T-bonds, we had a sideways there and a sideways there, and then it popped up for a high there on our Pluto point, and then down for the solar eclipse for a low, a little bit of a low. And then here's the U.S. dollar. We kept going higher on our U.S. point there for the U.S. dollar, but we did okay over here. We made a little bit of money here selling at the U.S. point there, and then down for the solar eclipse. And then the currencies often dance to the moon. The solar eclipse is a type of lunar effect. And so we were down into the solar eclipse there for a low for Aussie dollar, popped up for the high for the British pound, down on the lows for the Canadian dollar. Made a little pop up high there for the short term high for the euro. There's a little short term high for the yen. And here's the score. We had 21 out of 24 for 87.50% winning signals. All right, so here's something I haven't showed for a while. I do a forecast for the stock market for the whole month, a couple of weeks in advance. I add up I assign numerical values to the different planetary events and then plot those numbers on a graph. And that's the blue line there. I did that back in March. And then at the end of the month, this ran from March 28th to April 29th. And then I overlay the S&P 10-minute bars on top, and you can see the correlation there is not too bad. And then we have what's coming up, the future. Yeah. So tonight we have Mercury turning retrograde. Now keep in mind, what we like to see is the market addicts, whatever market we're looking at. By the way, the stock market responds potentially to all these events, and then we have the individual indications for different markets. So we like to see markets that are at an extreme into our time window, and that's certainly the case tonight with the stock market, I believe, which closed down significantly when I last looked. And then we also have the grains were down sharply today, so I think we might get some reversals tomorrow. So then we have Jupiter. That's the AC is after the close of the 11th. AAC, that's the night of the 11th into the morning of the 12th. We have Jupiter to Uranus. That will be cattle, copper, cotton. Then we have Saturn to the U.S. chart for stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. That's the night of the 12th into the 13th. And then the weekend of the 13th, we got a 4-star cluster there. We have the moon to the U.S. chart, U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. We have Venus aphelion. That's Venus at its farthest point as it goes around the sun, 225-day cycle. Cattle, copper, cotton, sugar, wheat. Then we have the moon to the U.S. chart again, and it's U.S. Neptune, which means not only do we look at U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar, but you also might want to look at oil. Then we have and then we have a lunar eclipse over the weekend of the 13th, and that'll be in the wee hours of Monday the 16th. And the stock market usually does not like lunar eclipses. You can go back and check that, and usually get about a 1.75% drop that day within 1 day of a lunar eclipse. So I wouldn't go along that weekend over that weekend, that's for sure. So anyway, a lunar event. We got financials, grains, precious metals, and because it's in the sign of Scorpio, cocoa, hogs, and T-bonds. So I have a little bit of experience. I was on the CBOE for 12 years, back in 75 to 87. And I was a market maker, remember there, trading my own account. I survived and made a living, and many people did not. And I've studied all kinds of stuff, you name it, I probably looked at it. And here we go. And if you want, you can contact me, get a free class, free lesson, whatever you like, and we'll see how we can move ahead. Maybe I can help you make some money. And this is for people not experienced. This could be a tough market. If you get a mentor with some experience, you might be able to turn this into a great opportunity to make some money and prosper in a bear market or recession that I think is probably coming. So there we go. We got here's my contact. I'm in beautiful Naples, Florida, 239-594-3939. Or you can email me, nwinsky, embark, EMBARQ, MAIL.com, or you can call me on Skype, nwinsky_1. Looking forward to helping some of your folks, Jeff.
Well, that's very interesting. If you watch my last video, I came up with May 13th by a totally different methodology, and I didn't see any of your dates until today. So I like the fact that we have different methodologies coming up at the same date. Now we have to see if it works.
I like that too. My whole methodology is involving, I like independent corroboration, where you have different methods all pointing to the same thing.
I just don't know now if that's going to be a high or a low.
Okay, well, you know what? Wait till you get to the weekend there, and probably, if you're going down, probably a low. If you're going up, it's probably a high.
I like the entire concept. Norm, thanks ever so much. These dates are always fantastic. Your track record's always fantastic. We look forward to seeing you back in a couple of weeks.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.